Hey friends! Before we dive into today's episode, I just want to give you a little heads up that this episode is going to be brutally honest. It's the end of my last school year as a teacher, so it's not sugar-coated. It's pretty real. After 29 years in the classroom, I am in the final days, the last week of my teaching career at the time this podcast releases. And in this episode, I'm taking you behind the curtain into the heart of what I built, what I loved, what I'm letting go of, and who I'm becoming on the other side of it all. This is for anyone who's ever poured themselves into something until it became a part of their identity and then found the courage to walk away. I'll share the quirky, sacred, and straight up exhausting parts of the job, from missing SD cards and Axe body spray to student poetry that moved me to tears. I'll talk about the invisible weight teachers carry, the grief of not reaching every student, and the guilt that lingers when you realize you just can't do it all anymore. I'll also explore the quiet, unfamiliar space of rediscovering who I am without the title, without bells, without the classroom. So, take a deep breath with me, whether you are a fellow educator, someone in the messy middle of a life transition, or just here to listen. I'm grateful you're here. Let's turn the next page together. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Life's Next Lesson Plan. I'm Rachel, and I started this podcast during my 29th and last year as a high school teacher. The goal of my work with Life's Next Lesson Plan, as well as my Live and Learn Patreon, is to create a connection where we are all teachers. We all have lessons and stories to share that can help others. I'm so fortunate to be able to extend the four walls of my previous classroom to an unlimited audience, where we can all learn from each other. And my guests are some of the most inspirational people with the best stories and lessons I know, which is why I want to share them with you. Their words are something everyone should hear. It is my hope that you are able to take away something from each episode to apply to your own life, whether that be a career search, path to a more fulfilling life, or new ideas on current topics. All right, for today's episode, like any good English teacher, I'm going to organize this in a little 3-part story arc. So part 1 is going to be things from my 29 years of teaching that I'm taking with me. Part 2 is going to be things I'm going to be leaving behind. And then part 3 is going to be the becoming me again. All right, so let's get into it. Things I'm taking with me, what I learned as a teacher. My ability to read the room and adapt in real time. So whether this meant, reading the room to see that some young couple in my classroom is in a fight, or maybe some friends are not getting along, to, maybe 2 scholars who I see maybe would be better off together. Did I ever play matchmaker in my classes? Maybe a little bit. Did it work out? Yeah. So, more so though, as a teacher, you just know when something is not working or when you need to change up your intended plan. Isn't that just like life? Isn't that kind of like what I've decided to do? Exactly. So I guess teaching can be a metaphor for life. I am taking with me some deep listening skills from years of mentoring teens. Oh boy, this can be a blessing and a curse. So yeah, I got to hear a lot of light bulb moments of true learning, and I got to overhear some conversations I wish I never heard. Just this past week, I overheard students playing Smash or Pass with the yearbooks. That's a new one. Anybody who has middle school children or high school children or college-age children or teaches, the first 3 colleagues I told this story to, none of them knew what Smash or Pass was. You need to look it up. I'm also taking with me a lot of compelling stories, whether the ones we told in journalism or the ones we read in our literature classes and the discussions that I heard and took part in. The proud moment of my little freshman journalist this year reaching out to interview a pro baseball player and a professional umpire, and an article on being able to compile the stories of our school and being circled up, as we called it, in AP Lit for Great Expectations discussions, where I sat in genuine awe at the inferences of the students. And this was before ChatGPT. I always learned something from those students. I'm also taking with me an ability to build community. Countless fun Fridays of Battle of the Sexes, Buzzfeed quizzes, Minute to Win It games, where apparently I learned how cringe I am by posting the videos of the students on Instagram. Apparently that is very mortifying, Miss Rauch. Lesson learned. I'm also taking with me a fire for helping others learn to think for themselves. I will be forever grateful for having attended summer trainings for classes like AP Seminar, AP Research, AP Literature, and Journalism, where the structure of the class puts students in the driver's seat and empowers them to know they can be in control of their learning. And also, these are the students who actually don't line up at the door before the bell. Teachers, am I right? If you know, you know. I'm also bringing with me the genuine joy of being allowed into the deepest thoughts of my students in creative writing, from their journals and their poetry, watching them bravely step up to the open mic to share their writing with others. Their writing and their sharing encouraged me to take risks and step out of my comfort zone. I wrote with them, I shared with them, and now look, I'm still stepping out of my comfort zone. And lastly, I'm bringing with me inspiration from brilliant and passionate colleagues. There are still some there who get it, who were there when things were good, and who still believe in high expectations and actually holding students to them. Probably best if I keep that short. I'll miss our deep conversations at lunch or at plays that we attended at APT or gathering around a dinner table. It's not goodbye. It's just see you in the next chapter. Keep up the good fight. Part 2, things I am leaving behind. Staff meeting icebreakers. Again, teachers, if you know, you know. The smell of teenage Axe body spray, or not being able to tell the difference between a fruity smelling vape or body spray in the bathroom. And I'll never forget the day I walked into the bathroom with my teacher's shoes clinking and my classroom keys around my neck jingling, and I saw 4 feet, 2 sets of feet, jump up onto the toilet. Still not 100% sure what that was about. Not sure I want to know. I'm leaving behind all the missing SD cards, all the missing camera cords, all the missing lens caps, the disorganization of the camera cabinet and publications in general. I'm leaving behind grading 117 essays in a weekend, or on the last day of a break, or the night before grades are due. Never again. Leaving behind questions like, how many points is this worth? Or is this for a grade? Can I go to the bathroom? What are we supposed to be doing 3 seconds after you just explained it? And not to mention it's on the screen in front of the room. This is just as good as, did we do anything while I was gone? No, Jimmy. We all just sat and stared at the wall. And lastly, I'm leaving behind people trying to submit their yearbook photos months and months and months after the due date. Or even after the yearbooks have been distributed. And I'm also going to swallow the criticism of students' work in the yearbook. Perhaps all homework, assignments, or projects for all classes should be shared with the whole school for feedback. I'm just going to stop there. Oh, wait, that wasn't it. I'm also going to leave behind the invisible, emotional, mental load that no one sees. This is actually going to be the most interesting to me. How I feel on a Friday at the end of a week of work in a new job compared to teaching. Because, again, I don't know, a lot of teachers I know are in their pajamas after happy hour on Friday. I'm also leaving behind the guilt and growing impossibility of not being able to reach every student. I don't know how this is going to work with the rise in student needs that I have seen and know for a fact is coming and just going to get worse. I'm also going to leave behind burnout culture, where you're expected to do it all and then we'll just keep adding more every single year. We don't really understand what you're already doing. So we'll just stop there. I'm also going to leave behind the way education has switched so far to focusing on supporting students that we've forgotten that we still need to support the teachers teaching them. And maybe not undermine them, maybe not go over their heads, maybe have a conversation with them, and maybe stop enabling students. And instead empowering them and believing them in them and holding them to the expectations we know that they can reach with proper support. Now, lastly, I'm leaving behind the teacher martyr narrative. Eating and using the restroom when a bell tells me to, having adults or students interrupt my short lunch or come into my room and interrupt my colleagues' lunch. Read the room. This is our decompression time. We get 20 minutes to take a breath, go to the bathroom, I don't know, maybe make an important phone call. You feeling that you are more important than our well-being in our hectic day simply amazes me. All right, let's take a little break. 100% of men and women have hormones. And with the increased presence of processed foods and environmental toxins, it's more important than ever to make mindful choices in the products we use every day. That's why I trust Hue and Grace, high-performing, clean products designed to support hormone health while reducing exposure to harmful chemicals. Because this topic has been my primary focus since ending birth control in 2024 in an attempt to regulate my changing midlife hormones, after making healthy swaps in my diet, personal care products, and exercise routine, I've been able to lower my dose of anxiety medication I once relied very heavily on, and have restored balance to my nervous system and cleared up the brain fog I was experiencing in perimenopause. Hue and Grace has played a key role in this transformation, offering safe, effective, non-toxic solutions that support my wellness journey. If you listened to episode 16 with certified Mayo Clinic health and wellness coach Tracy Danielson Mitchell, you heard our talk about the importance of hormone health. To share with you everything I did throughout my journey to balance my hormones, I did a deep dive on my Live and Learn Patreon about all of the tests and supplements that I use in order to navigate this journey in my 50s. To find this episode, you can just visit patreon.com/liveandlearn. Some of my favorite products I use every day include Hue and Grace's Hydrate and Detox that contains powerful antioxidants, electrolytes, and prebiotic fiber. Their popular blue drink you see me drinking on Instagram is their Triple Boost Hormone Support Protein Powder with blue spirulina that I mix with their daily collagen supplement. I also keep my skin hydrated and smooth with their Spray-On Body Oil. I love putting this on before going out, and it gives my aging skin a more dewy look. I've also switched out my hair care products to Hue and Grace's Your Best Hair Day line, with all natural ingredients that help nourish my hair and stretch out time between washes. If you're on this journey with me and are interested in exploring Hue and Grace's trusted non-toxic products, for 10% off and free shipping, you can use my discount link at hueandgrace.com/lessonplan and reach out anytime via email at nextlessonplan@gmail.com with questions. Live and learn with me as we focus on living fully and feeling our best. Visit hueandgrace.com/lessonplan to see how easy it is to start making some healthy swaps on your way to non-toxic living. There's our bell. So we are ready for Ask the Teacher Anything. And first question is, what are some of my favorite podcasts? What do I listen to? I'm often sharing some of my favorites on my Instagram if I think there's something worthy of sharing. I have kind of an eclectic mix, definitely. It goes by my mood for when I'm in the car or going for a walk or cleaning the house. One of my favorites for sure, yes, I know we're very excited, Elliot. One of my favorites for sure is my girl, Shailene Johnson. She has the Shailene Show. She also has a Patreon. She has 2 levels of Patreon. I'm so far just at the Between Friends level. That's awesome. I love, and I'm not listening to it much lately, but it definitely helped me when I was starting this podcast, Jenna Kutcher's The Goal Digger podcast. I actually took one of her online courses, the Podcast Lab, and that is what helped me start my podcast. Used to listen to a lot of Jay Shetty on Purpose and a lot of Motivation with Brendan Bouchard. Haven't listened to that as much lately. A little bit of Tony Robbins, a little bit of Ed Milet, a little bit of Mel Robbins. Used to listen to We Can Do Hard Things a lot during the pandemic and during my divorce. I listened to the Model Health Show a lot during the pandemic. Now I'm kind of into more lighter, more lighthearted things. So I listen to Smartless every Monday. Love, love, love that show. My daughter turned me on to Brittany Broski, and she's all over the place, but she cracks me up. And yes, I'm a Swiftie, so I listen to New Heights, and I also listen to Kylie Kelsey's Not Gonna Lie. I have listened to Call Her Daddy from time to time. I have listened to The Skinny Confidential, which is now called Him and Her. I've listened to Armchair Expert, if there's someone on there that I enjoy. And then I just saw someone last night actually recommend Khloe Kardashian's podcast. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. But she said it's not what you would expect. So I think I'm going to try that one as well. So there's still more. There's some podcasts of people I know, people I've had on the show, whose podcasts that I listen to, but I don't need to go over that again. But yeah, it varies, and I'm constantly changing it up in my car a lot, so I typically need a variety. Question 2, how was your first camping trip in the new camper? Yeah. So we took the Luna rover on its first voyage for Memorial Day weekend, and we were only an hour and 15 minutes from home in Green Lake. And we purposely kind of scheduled all close Wisconsin trips for the summer just because we're feeling out the new camper. We learned a lot from the first trip. We did have electric and water for this trip. We discovered that the fireplace, which is the heating source for the camper, after the first night of waking up every time you were cold and turning on the fireplace, Brett realized that you can set it like a thermostat. So you set it at the temperature you want it to be at, and it will turn on its own. So that was really nice. We slept a little bit better after the first night. The mattresses are a little uncomfortable, so we're looking into trying a mattress topper that we have or ordering additional cushions for that. We learned that you're not going to want to pack how you traditionally pack for a vacation. And so I'm going to buy three Rubbermaid totes. We already were using some, but that's how I'm going to pack my clothes and shoes. So we're going to have a tote for shoes, and that can just slide right under the camper. And then I'll have a tote for my clothes, and he'll have a tote for his clothes. And that will also slide on either side. We have two doors, one on each side of our beds of the camper. And that will be much easier because there's not much room in our camper. So we were having to put our suitcases or duffel bags in the truck every night and then getting our clothes out for the day. And we have a bathroom in the camper for emergency number one only, but we do have to shower at the campground. And so, it's just easier to have everything in a tote that you can just pull out of. We didn't cook a ton on this trip, so we used the microwave for heating up water. The sink was great for doing dishes. Everything else I would say went pretty well. Sleep masks were very helpful. I did have my weighted blanket. So, I mean, I just sleep so well when I'm in the outdoors. And so much better than in a tent as well. So, all in all, success. We're going to go again in June. So, thank you for asking. But we learned a lot on that first trip. Okay, so let's finish out this 3-part story arc with who I'm going to become now after taking with me what I'd like to take with me and leaving behind what no longer serves me. This is going to be my identity shift outside the role of teacher. So part of my Rachel 2.0 is going to be learning to not define my worth by productivity, awards, favoritism, other people's opinions, students' opinions of me. That will be nice. I'm going to learn what off the clock feels like. Pretty much every day off and weekends and summers and holidays definitely had to do something for publications or the yearbook. So, or grade or lesson plan or respond to emails until I took email off my phone. Highly recommend doing that. I'm going to learn who I am when I'm not Miss Rauch, the teacher. So I'm excited to see what that looks like starting in July. I'm going to explore the space that this closure, this ending is going to create for me to grow into something new in this new position. It's getting a lot more real now. So it's just, I don't know what to expect. And I'm just holding a lot of positive hope for my new role. I'm going to use my current skills and learn so many more skills. I think that'll be so fun. A lot of things that I've been wanting to learn more about, photography being one of them. Like I'm going to do a whole training. So learning from the best photographers out there, paid professional photographers. So cool. I love taking pictures as it is. So we'll see, if I could upgrade my social media pictures a little bit. And just, being valued for my knowledge, being valued for having high expectations. Yeah, that will be refreshing. So there it is. My official lasts as a teacher. No more rubrics, no more late work accepted, no more is this for a grade questions allowed. I'm going to walk out this week with my head held high, my sarcasm probably still intact, and the idea that sometimes the most important lesson isn't what we teach others, but how we ourselves learn and grow and change along the way. So to everyone still in the classroom trenches, I see you. Oh, I respect you. Oh, good luck. To those thinking about making a bold move, you're not crazy. You can do it. And to anyone trying to find themselves again after a long chapter or a difficult chapter, I've been there with you. I'm here. You're going to be okay. I'll catch you next time on Life's Next Lesson Plan, where I'll be the one ringing the bell.